and. Quite powerful, and we don't need that. It can be sort of like a baby voice in your head, like you're washing the dishes or something. Okay. Here we are. Now add the fifth here. Watch me. So I'm rolling always and. So you see how you have to coordinate with your body and your voice. Okay? Here we go. Temperate out. Okay, so here we are. So that you're really in unison the entire time, okay? Here we are. I hear a lot of you landing on the top note. Don't stay there. You're not allowed to stay there. It's a circle. Okay? Free? Good. Yeah? You need to use your brain. That's true. Yeah? Anybody else? Okay. Okay, so let's just do mi, me, ma, mo, mo. Put it in your feet, okay? Mi, me, ma, mo, mo. Okay, so up. Now we're going to do double time, but not your feet. Mi, me, ma, mo, mo. Everybody? Mi, me, ma, mo, mo. Double time again. Mi, me, ma, mo, mi, me, ma, mo, mi, me, ma, mo. Everybody? Mi, me, ma, mo, mi, me, ma, mo, mi, me, ma, mo. Okay, we'll do all three now. Mi, me, ma, mo, join me. Mi, me, ma, mo, double time. Mi, me, ma, mo, okay? Just one of each. Double time each time. The second time there's a lot of space afterwards because you can't put them both in. Here we go. Join now double. Okay, now double. when you sing, okay? Same thing again. Here we are. Ready. And okay, so we'll take it here, and we will walk, do the same kind of walking we were doing before, only we have this class also. But you will make progress around the room. Remember, avoid people, you can always turn if someone's coming at you, all right? So just go for it. Ready, and. Okay, I'm going to teach you a bit of a piece of Meredith's, and it develops, and I'll show you how it goes, but the syllables are yin, nin, na. Yin, nin, na. Yin, nin, na, nea, nea. Yin, nin, na, nea, nea. Yin, nin, na. Yin, na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Now, a lot of you are instrumentalists, right? You know you don't need words to be expressive and communicate, right? So Meredith feels that way about world music as well, okay? So everything is phonemes, as you know from Honda, and you will now know from me and not. That's where we are here. Okay, so just repeat after me. Yin, nin, na. Yin, nin, na. Yin, nin, na, nea, nea. Yin, nin, na, nea, nea. Yin, nin, na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Okay? Yin, nin, na. Yin, nin, na. Yin, nin, na, nea, nea. Yin, nin, na, nea, nea. Yin, nin, na. I'll do two in a row. Yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na-na,
Yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na-na,
na-na-na-na-na-na.
yin-nin-na, na-na-na-na-na-na.
That's the whole thing. Okay, so let's sing it all together. Ready, and
Yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, na-na-na-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, na-na-na-na-na-na.
okay, so it's quite heavy now, and this is very, have you ever seen those like bugs that skitter on water? Yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na-na. So it's very short and light, okay? Now, there's two nails right now. Na-na. Okay, so I'm going to play with how many of those there are. So let's give you fingers for how many of those there are. Right now, it's two. Ready, go.
Yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, na-na-na-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, na-na-na-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na-na,
See my one? That's one nail. Okay? Ready, and
yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na, yin-nin-na.
okay. Yin-nin-na-na, yin-nin-na.
Do we stop?
No, just keep going. So here's the two.
Yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, na-na-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na, yin-nin-na, na-na-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na, yin-nin-na,
Again.
na-na-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na, yin-nin-na,
One more time.
na-na-na-na-na, yin-nin-na, yin-nin-na-na, yin-nin-na.
One more time. Close. Okay, good. Okay, so it's a cannon, all right? So we're going to do four-part cannon. Oh, here you go there, there. Very good. Okay. We're going to do it again. We're going to start with this group this time. It's easier to do one, harder to do four. Let's start really low. Everybody, listen to me. We're going to start really low. Okay. We're going to take three to get up to sort of a mezzo forte, no louder than we were just now. And the other thing you can play with is the so it's almost like the siren or something going by. So when you have a five, start soft, get loud, and come back in. We're going to try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. But don't receive it so quickly. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. All right, so we'll start here. Hello, Meredith.
I'm just gonna sit for a minute and then we'll do some stuff.
Okay, so So 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, yin. Everybody do it.
Na na, and then 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1.
Again.
1, 2 yin. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 yin.
Again.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 yin.
Okay. So this tags on my sense.
So good. Yin nin na 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 yin nin na na. See why you can't do this? Yin nin na yin nin na na yin nin na 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 yin nin na yin nin na 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 yin nin na yin nin na yin nin na 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 yin. Don't delay. Go right to the end. Na 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 yin. Don't delay. Na 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 yin. Yeah. Yeah. There's still a little hesitation, like to go right to the yin. Na 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 yin yin na. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 yin. Now, want to try it in canon? Go for it, girl.
This will be group 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll take it pretty slow. Yin, yin, na, da, 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 da. Keep this in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da, 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 da. Get that in your body. Yin, yin, na, yin, na, yin, na, yin,
Na 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 yin yin na. They're rushing. This group is rushing to the end.
Okay. Meredith says you're rushing.
This group, you're rushing to the end. So you it's like let's get to the end. So
everybody keep
subdivided.
Everybody do it together in unison one more time with your hands. 1, 2, ready, go. Yin, yin, na, yin, yin, na, yin, yin, na, 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 yin, yin, na, yin, yin, na, yin, yin, na, 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 yin, yin, na, yin, yin, na, yin, yin, na, 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 yin, yin, na. Okay, great.
Let's go out on the road, guys. You sound so good. I have to figure out what my plan is for. I would love you to sing more of my music. We'll figure it out. Anyway, you sound great. You sound great. Now let's try it in a canon and we'll see what happens. Okay.
Okay, let's just. Alark, we'll start with you.
And stay light. I think you have to, don't go too loud so you really hear the other parts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. 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 So good. So amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, Kate, do you want to go on to Panda? I think maybe across the floor is hard here. It's a small space, but I was going to do like a movement thing with you, but I think we'll go on to Panda chant.
Have you already been assigned parts for Panda chant? Okay,
Oh, boy.
I have the Pandas who stay Panda over here. Oh, freshmen. Oh, it's by class?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God, it would be so beautiful if they sang Ascension. Wouldn't it be beautiful, Ascent? I mean, they are good.
The octave. Which one is that?
Where are the octaves? Right there.
One.
Okay.
As soon as you get going, right?
Yeah. Do you have a leader? Who's starting? Have you assigned a leader?
We change it every time we do it, but
Go at you. What is your name? What is your name? Hi, Will is going to be the leader. Sweetie. Oh, okay. You're the leader right now. Okay. The official leader.
Do we feel like we could just
Excuse my cold hands.
yeah, I think so.
Oh, great.
Oh my gosh, I'm having a performance here. This is amazing. Okay. All right.
Maybe we should sit down now. Does everybody have room to do their step? Hey.
I think we should do a little Q&A too.
Yeah, okay.
Don't you think? A little bit. It's a way to just make contact with these guys.
Okay.
Don't you think?
All right.
Panda, 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 panda.
Oops, wrong side.
Okay.
Stop already. Stop, Will. All right. First of all, the tempo's a little slow. Secondly, your first step is to your right.
Because you know what I do? I always do it in a mirror.
Oh, in a mirror?
I'm so used to doing it backwards.
Yeah, I think the tempo. Panda, 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 panda. Okay, everybody, we're going to start. We're going to start steps to the right, and let's just do 8 pandas, and then everybody start the steps. How about that?
So step on the 9th, okay?
And you're going to go to your right. Okay. Ready? And panda. Other way. Ba-da-ba-da. Okay, wait. All right, wait. No, wait, stop. And it's ba-da. It's do, re, mi, ba-da, panda, pa. You're not the only one. It's very weird how the ba-da-ba-da is in a lot of different groups. It's just a major third, but somehow everybody seems to have trouble with that. You're not the only one. So it's really ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-day.
Maybe we should just go through the sounds to make sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Can we hear your butt days? 1, 2, go.
Really good. Yes.
It's a long piece.
And I just want to say something about vocal hygiene. So this kind of sound, you really need to get it from your diaphragm. Like it's not from your throat, like right from your gut. And it's not that we're going to do a marathon on these things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I just want you to be careful. So we are asking our voice to do a lot, but you don't have to do it till kingdom come. That's what, And actually what I've found, because I've been working so long with the voice, and some of the people in my ensemble, Katie, Theo Bleckman, we found that we have longevity from doing all these different things from our voices. So if you have a teacher that says, don't do this, don't do that, that fear-based way of learning is not where it's at. I've done, all kinds of stuff with my voice, and my voice is holding out after many, many years. So I think you don't have to be afraid, but please do not do it, repeat it. Don't work 4 hours on this. It's very important, that you rest your voice. Okay, so, all right. I just wanted to make sure you know that at this point in your lives. Okay, so next.
1, 2, 3.
Good. Now you have the hardest one because it's Well, actually, you are on the right foot every time. What was the one where it goes? Oh no, it changes. It actually shifts.
Yeah. So I do think though for the you shouldn't land on the same note, right? It's more of
Right.
like you're all ending up here for some reason, but don't. try to just find your
Eh.
kind of the wild card. Everybody else has pitches and you don't. Okay, so you kind of.
And let's try it with the feet, with the feets. 1, 2, 3. Good. And so what happens there is your feet are kind of on automatic pilot. You have to choose which one is going to be on automatic pilot so that your mind is not going in two places at the same time because you're doing counterpoint with yourself. Okay? Next. That is pitched.
Yeah, that's pitch.
Who's got
Is this still the D?
who's got the
We have a pitch. Andrew. Andrew. A for Andrew.
Okay, 1, 2.
So the diddly.
Diddly.
It's almost not sung that.
It's
diddle in there, right?
it's sort of it's pitched, but you're not like making a big deal of the pitch in the middle there. That's it.
Like that.
Mhm.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Excellent.
And make a lot of the D. So, because it really sends it out. Okay. Okay.
On top.
Right. 1, 2, 3, and 1. Panda. 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 Panda.
Panda, 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 panda.
Nice. Very good. Okay, so do they know the form or should we like bring people in? Because like for example, we start with so we do 8 pandas and then the feet 3 times and then comes the Badapade's.
We rehearse it, but do we all know how many units of?
We can bring people in. Why don't we just bring,
also just
we can
tell
just
you.
conduct.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just so that you know, there's 3 barapares, and then there's 4.
After the 3 we go.
After the 3 you go. After the 4, you have 4 of
But we'll
theirs,
help you
and
come in.
4 of theirs.
And then we wait. Oh, and then who's doing the, who's got that?
I'm not assigned.
Oh, who would like to do no. Yes.
Devin, you got it.
It should be. It's mostly, I think it has to be a female voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a higher voice.
Or a higher tenor voice. Well, let's do 2 people, and I'll bring you in on that. Okay? I will bring you in on that. Because you have to also give that. Let's everybody try that. We're going right first. Right. Not left. We're going right. Right foot.
Right.
It's almost like a Spanish, like a flamenco. Like right at around chest level.
Don't do it in front of you. Front of your right shoulder.
Like almost like flamenco. Very proud. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's try the whole, very good. Let's try the whole form. Let's try again.
So there's 8.
There's 8.
Oh, it depends on your concert, how many you need, depending maybe you're not all in the same place.
Because sometimes you have to walk in, and so that takes 24 counts before you start.
Let's say 8 for now.
Let's do 8 for now.
So we're on the 9th we step.
And because you're in a circle, it's right foot, but we might be a mirror image from you when we're showing. So everybody to the right, okay? All right.
Panda, panda,
join panda. Don't rush. Ba-da, ba-day, ba-da, day, ba-da, ba-day, ba-da, day, ba-da, ba-day. Panda, 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 panda. It's like musical chairs. It's like, wah! You know, I can't tell you how many times we've performed this and somebody's like, da, pond, or something. So what it is one, panda, panda, wherever you are, panda, no sound.
Can we do
So
that?
let's try that.
So just mark it. Ba-da, ba-day, ba-da, day, 2. Sing with me.
Day,
Ba-da, ba-day, ba-da. This is the last
day,
one.
ba-da, ba-day. Ba-da, boing, ba-da, rest. Try it again, you guys. I want to hear the ba-da days.
And also, I think you can lighten it up, and you can kind of throw away the phrase. Ba-da, ba-day. You're going ba-da, ba-day. Ba-da, ba-day.
Ba-da, ba-day, ba-da, day, ba-da, ba-day, ba-da. You know, I'm like letting it kind of move through my voice instead of holding on to it. Can you hear that? Okay.
So let's do the last 4. 1, 2, 3.
Ba-da, ba-day, ba-da.
Okay, let's do 1, 2, go. Ba-da, ba-day,
Ba-da, day, ba-da, ba-day, ba-da, day, ba-da, ba-day, ba-da, day, ba-da, ba-day, ba-da. Come here, my sweetheart. Let me give you a hug. Join the club. He's joining the club. He's joining the club. Okay.
I'm not sure where you're going to be in these 4, so let's just pretend you're in the first one just so you get the idea. So let's do 4. 1, 2, go. No, you can't sing the last one. Okay, so whatever.
Come here. You beautiful creature. Free hug for anyone who misses.
Deciding who gets the hug.
Oh.
We're gonna all mess up.
Oh, okay. Open arms to everybody.
Okay, here you go. 1, 2, go. Oh, you all wanted a hug?
Oh.
Let's do that again. Okay, we're gonna do it again. You can't sing on the last step. Ready and.
Ah! It reminds me of Paul, and remember that Allison, every time they made a mistake and they would turn around. You can't sing that last Dee Dee. You don't sing the last one.
Think about it. The last stamp is empty. 1, 2, and on.
Empty. You got it. Yay. And then, and I want to also talk to my other callers about how it works.
So let's do the panda
Yeah.
first. So Andrew, I have no idea where we are in pitch. Panda. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Panda. Wait. Oh, you start with Johnny. Okay.
And
Panda. 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 Panda.
no hugs in this group. It's like reverse psychology. Like if you so who, I thought there were 2 people doing.
Okay.
Okay, so it's what it is so that's 2 times. Then we go back panda, 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 panda to panda, 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 panda. Now we're going to do 3. Panda, panda. Then we have the 4. Panda, 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 da, panda, 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 da, panda. Rock and roll. Okay.
2 calls, 2 rests, 2 calls, 2 rests, 3 calls, 4 to go. All right? And you callers, you're a caller too, right? Put your hands up because if they can't hear you.
Yeah, we do it so that you can actually hear us, that everybody else can hear us. You only do it so you're 1, 2.
It's 2. You do 2. You're always counting in units here. Okay. That's 1.
Panda, 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 panda. Okay, okay. All right.
So you
So
want to try it
let's
from the
try. Yes. Bada, bada. Panda, 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 panda. Panda, 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 panda. Yes! Woohoo! Very good. So what you need to do is have somebody who's going to be the clapper. And what I do is I don't have a certain number of times, once you guys get going, and if we're grooving, I might take 4 to go by or 3 to go by, depending on if it's really cooking. So that's not set the number of when I come in, but then whoever's the leader does the clapping, and then you all get the clapping the next time around. Really good, you guys. Beautiful.
I feel like you could put a little more character in this. It's starting a little
It should be everything. So you should have fun with this. Not if you don't, it does turn kind of robotic looking, because everybody's like, You know, so just get what Katie's saying, get your personality and joy into this, and that you're cooking together. We're really cooking with this. And audiences love it. You know, you should know that. So, very good. So,
Anybody have any questions?
well, I was going to sit down and see if, you know, a little Q&A if you want to ask me anything. Do you want to?
Yes, ask some questions, friends.
Would you like to sit? Maybe we could. Everybody could just sit on the floor.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any questions for me about anything? Yes.
I heard that you wrote this piece in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other, was it the other piece?
In Berlin.
Oh, this one? Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get to Berlin? Like, what brought you there?
I was asked to do a piece for a wonderful, they're really more like actors, but I was doing music with them, called the Schaubühne of West Berlin. And I was collaborating with my friend Ping Chong, who's like a performance artist director and more like a playwright person. And we get to Berlin. This is like, you know, in the 80s. The wall was still up. The missiles are coming from East Berlin into West Berlin. It was going to be 1984, and the Olympic Games were happening. And we're going, what should we do our piece about? We're thinking, oh, how about the aesthetics of fascism? You know, and we're in Germany, right? So it was a piece about the end of the world, that the world had ended. We don't know whether global warming or explosion or something like that. And these are the survivors that come from all over the world. So they do the language, there is some language, but it's almost like fragmented different languages, like German and French and African and, you know, like these different languages. And that they're either on another planet or they're on a spaceship. But and there's a game master who's like, first you think he's kind of like a rock star, but then little by little you realize, it's getting darker and darker. He also becomes a kind of dictator. But they have rituals of remembering the earth, and this is the kind of celebration of this getting darker society. So it does have, you know, it had like political. It was pretty political, even though it was abstract. But we brought back a lot of that material in this new album that I did with the Bang on the Can All-Stars, which is called Memory Game, because it does seem like we have to really be aware of what's going on right now. So yeah, yes.
Are most of your compositions for visual arts works that are like soundtracks?
No. We do concerts, as you'll see in the spring, you know, music concerts. I mean, the music stands by itself. I always say the music is kind of the river of my life. I'm always working on music. And then sometimes from, you know, after a number of years, I'll have the ideas to make like a large, either live performance piece or a film. I mean, my music has been used in other people's films, but it's music that's mostly been written before. And when I made a feature-length film, and I had to be like the director who's going, well, you know, you only need 30 seconds. And the composer, oh, no, I've got to develop it further. No, you need 30 seconds. Oh, no. So I was like going hat. But, you know, I feel like making film is almost like making visual music. You know, the rhythm is, and so I could work with a counterpoint of my music and the images, because I think that's the best way of using music, where you're not manipulating people, but they each have their own integrity, but they make a whole. So, yeah. Oh, my goodness, where should somebody else choose?
Here's Sophia.
I was just curious, why pandas?
Oh, I'll tell you why, because the symbol of Berlin is a panda, and so we were saying panda, and it's pronounced panda. But then, of course, you know, it's totally abstract. Nobody would know it, but I knew it, and we knew it. But that's how that happened. Yeah.
Natalia.
I still dance.
Your form of dance kind of blossomed into your love of music. Like, how did you connect those two together?
Well, I was lucky enough that I started with Dalcroze. You know, my mother was a singer, my grandfather was a singer, so music was really natural for me. I had natural rhythm, and, you know, it was like breathing for me. But I had some difficulty with movement as a little kid. coordination. And so my mother heard about Dalcroze Eurythmics. And you all know about Dalcroze, right? No? They teach it at this wonderful school. You know, it's one of the only places in the city. Okay, so so this Swiss composer Dalcroze, Jacques Dalcroze, he was sort of interested like Bartók in folk music, and he taught at a conservatory, and he noticed that there's one guy that was having trouble with rhythm, but he noticed that this young man had a beautiful walk, very flowing, and he devised exercises to learn rhythm through his body. And then he developed these exercises of rhythm, improvisation, and solfege. So we learned solfege with arms going up in space. So it's this very integrated, holistic way of thinking about, he said all musical ideas reside in the body. So completely whole with body. And it's a fantastic way of starting to learn music. Because also space, which is something that a lot of, in the Western tradition, it's not taught. Like in Africa, it's taught that space is your ally. Asian theater forms, space is your ally. But here, it's more like we stand in place, we sing, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I think it's changing a lot now. But it's sort of like everything is possible, in this kind of way of working. So that's how it started, though.
You were like directly referencing similar to the symbol of Berlin, the Honda. Just like
I think just the a leader who was I mean again it didn't have a narrative exactly. You just knew that it was this community of people, and you knew that the earth had ended. You sensed that, and that there was these series of these rituals, and there at the end you see astronauts. You see when they first came to the planet, and they're putting flags down. The thing is, it didn't end with, I never can end a piece without redemption. So the very last image after all that futuristic science fiction kind of thing was one man in a kind of medieval blanket kind of cape who played bagpipe, and you just saw him walk slowly back to the back of the stage. So you got that sense of life would go on just with a bagpipe, like a medieval kind of, that all time is one thing. That was sort of the idea of that. So I think it was just more just the, as I said, the aesthetics of what fascism is. The fascism aesthetic is that everybody's the same. It's like everybody's exactly, so that's the Ponda thing of, and yet that's why Katie's saying, get your personality in there, because the piece itself, as a piece of music, it's changed over the years. It's now much more a celebration rather than we're in the army. Which is so interesting about live performance and live music, is that you allow it to change. It's like when it's first born, in its first form, it was like a little infant, and then we performed it over the years with the ensemble, and usually as an encore, and joy started entering it, and we just let that change happen. That's the beautiful thing about live performance, is that it can change. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mirabelle.
In our AP Lang class, we were reading this lecture by John Cage, in which he kind of destigmatizes and leans into the word experimental to describe the music he writes and the music some of his colleagues write. How do you feel about the word experimental to describe your music, or like music maybe in the same vein?
Well, it's funny because it does have a little bit of a stigma as in terms of a historical, like experimental music to me means a certain time period, like 50s, 60s, but the idea of it is exactly what I've lived my life. Like I want to always be experimenting, exploring, finding something new. That's what keeps me going. The discovery keeps me going and makes me write new music. Every time I make a piece, it's really new. And Katie can attest to that. She's been working with me for years, and every piece is a different world. So I think that idea of experimentation is wonderful. It's sort of like, the word avant-garde. I really have a hard time with that, because it's like, avant of what? It's kind of like on one level, we're trying to find fresh things, but at the same time, everything has existed under the sun. So you're circling back to ancient time. Time is circular. And avant-garde to me means sort of the 1920s and the 1950s. The 1950s music, I felt, that was called avant-garde. People were exploring, Barrio and, the Europeans were exploring. They were trying to push past their usual things, but there's a kind of academic intellectual thing about it. Like I call it chin up music. So I think that we, in my generation and even one generation ahead, we were trying to get back to the body. We came up with rock and roll. You know, it's like that's, you know, that's part of our lineage. And so, you know, it's more that, again, the sense of the body, the heartbeat, the blood. You know, I think of melody as bloodline. I think of the heart as our pulse, you know, the pulse in music as our heartbeat. So more embodied. So, but, you know, I think it's so important to read John because I knew him I actually sang 2 of his pieces, sang Aria and I sang Variations 5, and I sang his songbooks. My sensibility is totally different. We came from a completely different generation, but he was an incredible person to be around. And I know he loved my singing. You know, he was very open, you know, to everybody, younger, older people. And that openness, that delight in like invention, you know, curiosity, so important. That curiosity in this world, particularly that we're living in now, where everybody wants everything all filled in. You're on your phone. You know, there's no really imagination because everything's kind of filled in with special effects or whatever. You know, it seems really important to go back to that thing of being completely open and delighted by the moments of our lives. Yeah, and fight for it because there's a few guys that are making quadrillion monies from all of our addictions to the devices. You know, I'm not saying I'm not, you know, I'm in there too, but you know, you just have to be aware. Don't let them use us. You know, these devices are for us to use, but you know, they've gotten to the point where they're using us basically to control. So we got to be really careful, you know, and fight a little bit. I think we have to fight in, you know, not, you know, fight in a kind of compassionate way. Yeah. Yeah.
Or have people listen to this piece of music and give their attention to it. And
Really?
yeah,
That's not my experience.
really.
Well, we go all over the world because they don't have to sift through English.
Right.
You know, if I see Chinese opera, I'm not really listening to the text. I just love the music. So the thing about it is that that's only one tradition is words and music, which is a beautiful tradition. It's absolutely beautiful. But my idea of the voice is that it can be it can actually be universal beyond language, and it's going back to the early utterance of human beings, which was before language. And I mean, some of our pieces we have language in there. You know, there are words. Like A Happy Woman has words. The way I usually use words is more like litany. You know, like more repetition. You know, it's more like chant-like. But there are pieces that I do have words. But it's always done in a non-narrative ways because I feel like our culture we're trained in this culture to put words on the top of the pyramid so that we're always narrating our own experience. But if actually you get below that, you know, you get to much more heart-to-heart communication. So we've been to Syria with some, you know, people saying, you know, that had no reference point at all for this music, but they were able to get it, the emotion of it.
But you still have an inherent meaning in the text.
I do not, I don't like to manipulate my audience. So, you know, I'm working with shades of feelings that we don't have words for between what anger and fear might be, or, you know, I'm trying to get below that, what I call discursive thinking, which again is this labeling, analyzing, and narrating your experience instead of having direct experience. So, you know, that might be a heavy statement, but mostly not for people all over the world that have heard our music. You know, they just respond very directly. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna ask, like, is there a specific reason why you chose this piece to be performed in the circle and these inserts?
As I said, we usually perform it in a semicircle. But the circle, you know, there's one more thing that we didn't work on at all, and it depends on how big your performing space is. We have it because there's a certain point where we actually move the circle around so that you're doing the step to the right, but the circle rotates. So you're taking a bigger step with your right foot and a smaller step with your left foot. So I don't know how far you're going to go and whether we should come back and choreograph.
I think we should try to make that work.
Katie is really good at teaching that.
How long do we have till 2:30?
Yeah, we have till 2:30, right, Will?
Depending on the material dictates to me what the sonic world is going to be. And that also dictates my phonemes to make that sound world. So I was trying to find really an original and authentic way that there's only one Meredith in the, monk in the universe, there's only one of you in the universe. And I feel like our job is to find out our path, what it is that we can give that no one else can give. So that's why I feel like it doesn't really, the reference point is not necessarily our culture now. Yeah, good question. It's hard, you can tell I usually can articulate when I'm like, blah, 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 but very good question. And there was one more person? Yes.
I just wanted to know, did you always know you wanted to pursue music to become a musician?
As I said, music was so much part of my life. I'm a fourth generation singer. I also loved dancing, when I was a child, and I loved theater. So I went to Sarah Lawrence, and they allowed me to take a combined performing arts program where I was in the voice department, dance department, and theater. And I was making, if you've ever seen one of my big pieces, it really is an integration of those three art forms into one. Like Eisenstein said, all art forms meet within the film frame, and the same thing with a live performance. But somehow, and I was very, very serious about my dancing, which, I still am keeping my movement going, but there was a certain point when I discovered my voice as an instrument. I was just vocalizing, and suddenly I realized my voice could be like a hand going like this. My voice could spin, it could fall, it could jump, it could laugh, it could cry without, saying what it was doing, but it could do it. That the voice itself is a language, and it's a universal language. At that point, I started, really working with my voice, and I had a wide range to start out with, but I pulled it on both ends and just started working with my voice the way I would have if I was in the dance studio working on choreography. And then it just little by little started taking over, and then just became the center of my work, especially the emotional aspect of it. So I have a funny story to tell you, because I was just telling somebody yesterday, and they said, oh, there's a book about my work that just came out, and she said, oh, I wish you would, did you say that in the book? And I said, no, I forgot. So I think I always knew that I wanted to be an artist, from maybe I was 13, and I always knew that I wanted to make things. So there was a certain point I came to New York, I was doing my pieces, but I sensed that I needed to make another vow to devote my life to being an artist. So I just lay on my bed all day in my apartment, and by the end of the day, it was either going to be I was going to vow to devote my life to making music and art or not. And I don't know what was in, I was like 21 years old or something like that. I'm like lying there like the whole day, and by the end of the day, I knew that I had made the vow. So, it's sort of that renewal of just your devotion and just following what you love, because we need love in this world right now. So please, follow whatever it is, making a good meal, it doesn't matter what your love is, but follow your love, because love is powerful. Anybody can hate, but love, you have to be fierce. So that's what I say to all you beauties. And I hope I can come to your performance. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Can we give our new friends a big SMS thank you?